Welcome, everyone, to today's spectacular episode of Ascension Hour with Reverend HoniB with my very, very dear, sacred star sister, Hillary Faye, that I'm so honored to welcome on the show today. Hillary, welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you. I am so honored.
As I am. And who would have ever imagined when we rescheduled this that it would have fallen on this divine perfect day, the International Women's Day. Look at that. Isn't it? It's always divine, always. So I'm so thankful, even greater. And this whole month, everybody that is on this show are all my dear, sacred, divine sister, that this connection of the Magdalene we have with each other. So I'm really excited to welcome you and introduce you to everyone and just get this beautiful conversation started.
Thank you. So am I.
So am I. And as always, we start with a little prayer around here, getting ourselves situated. So the audience are used to this, and Hillary, I welcome you as well. So let us all uncross our legs. Let us just bring our hands and our heart and just tune into that beautiful heartbeat underneath our palms and connect with that sacred essence and that centered energy inside. As we now welcome the breath from this horizontal plane, a deep, gentle breath into this heart space, and holding the breath as we connect with its crystalline, pure white diamond light. It's connecting to its source of love within and releasing that breath outward out. And on the next in-breath, draw the breath from the horizontal plane even deeper, even slower, even stronger, all the way to the center of our heart, connecting with that beautiful, dazzling white golden light inside, letting the heart know you are here with its love. As we draw the energy downward, the focus downward through the lower chakras, all the way down, passing through the Earth Star chakra, connecting to the center of Hollow Earth, into the heart of Sophia Gaia, into the Mother Earth's heart, letting her heart know we're here as we release that breath. And let us draw another deep, slow in-breath from this horizontal plane back all the way into the center of our crystalline diamond heart, connecting with that center light inside as we draw the energy while holding the breath, drawing the energy upward through the higher chakra, passing through the soul star chakra, all the way up towards the great central sun and to the heart of source itself, releasing the breath as we connect our heart to the heart of source. And this next final in breath, drawing the breath from this horizontal plane, deep and slow, all the way into the center of our heart, connecting in that vertical axis of light and this horizontal axis of light, in that central sphere of light, with the love of Mother Earth beneath us and Father Heaven above us, connecting as the golden child inside, releasing the breath as a sphere of light all around us, releasing it. Sensing, seeing, visualizing each of us in this dazzling, bright and bold, beautiful sphere of light, that the outer edges is pure golden, us being the golden child, or the sacred divine feminine, sacred divine masculine, unified inside. And here we are, completely enclosed in this dazzling, pure white light. Anything less than the divine perfection of this Christ light may not interact with us in any which way on this call. And all that is shared is for the highest good of all, through its wisdom of truth that will be shared through our beloved sister, Hilary Faye, today. And we receive all that we already receive in this now. And all that doesn't resonate can fall on the side. And so be it as we begin, grounded and centered with our hearts open. And so it is. Here we are. Welcome, Hilary. So much love to you, darling.
Wow, that was magnificent. And I hope everyone really breathes in all of those light codes. As Reverend HoniB, what you bring in is the purest frequency. That was magnificent. Thank you so much.
Oh, I feel the same about you, Hilary. Thank you. It's very beautiful when we ground, we all together on the call, and future ones that will be seeing, they're receptive, because a lot of times the wisdom of your journey is ready to be shared. It has its own streaming light codes, and it is here to benefit others. But when it's closed and it's not enclosed properly, then it's not ready to receive. So I'm so thankful, and I welcome you to this show, this hour right now, because oh my gosh, this ascension walk has been some fantastic walk for sure. And not really walk, a run often, right? Right?
Yeah.
Or like fall many times. So what a journey. So here you are. You have, for those that don't know, you recently with Michael moved here, which is so fantastic, right here in Florida, very close to us. And we're friends. So I'm so excited to have a dear sacred sister, thanks to our beloved Maida, that brought us together. And here we are, and you've taken this interesting journey, and here you are. And from an ascension perspective, if I were to ask you, Hilary, in this now, this journey moving from Toronto to Laguna to here, what is the lens of your ascension here to, what has it shown you? What is it here to share with us in just this short period of this multiple, moving and shifting, and here's this wisdom you're now sitting on?
Oh, thank you. That's such a wonderful question. And yes, I'm so open to receive, and was really guided, like, don't prepare any thoughts, be in the pure presence. And yes, the move to Toronto is I'd lived in 12 states before I moved to Toronto, and I moved every year of my life and growing up. But the move to Toronto, where I pretty much instantly moved in with my now husband, Michael, and it was a really, really expansive journey of meeting so many soul family members. And I'm so grateful for the opportunity to move. And even those of you who maybe have been in the same place for a long time, but when you take that opportunity to go meet someone new, or to take a trip somewhere new, or to even go to a part of your city or area you haven't been to, there's all this new energy and new light codes. So moving to Toronto, which was now around 10 years ago, was a big stepping into who I was meant to become, because I have to share that for many years, I was doing deep spiritual healing work, which I thought was for myself. I never thought I was good enough to be a healer or to be a spiritual teacher. So in the beginning of my journey, after a failed suicide attempt when I was 18, I realized that I had to heal from the immense trauma that I experienced growing up. And then I was on that journey, and it was quite a journey, a very, very deep healing, and taking every training that I could under the sun and just, studying a lot of deep alchemy, a lot of Kundalini energy healing. And that awoken so much in me. That's where I met my soul for the first time and really got to experience myself in this way, where that ascension process is really allowing ourselves to embody that eternal light body that we are, that eternal light being, that higher self, our spirit, our soul self, and allowing this physical body, which sometimes can get crunchy with all of its traumas and triggers, to realize that that is who you are in this physical vessel, and to embody that. Just as we're all ascending towards the fifth dimension of consciousness, Mother Earth is, all of us are, but really that ascension is a descension of the fifth dimension into the third dimension, just as we're calling our fifth dimensional light body, which is our eternal being, into our physical body. So it was when I was in India, right before I moved to Toronto, that I felt like spirit slapped me, stop trying to create all these businesses, trying to create a yoga mat company, a yoga clothing company, all these physical businesses. You're here to teach. You are here to teach. Stop trying to do other things. And then in arriving to Toronto, all of the opportunities started to unfold, partially because my husband, Michael, was supporting me in creating all of these opportunities, and so much wisdom anchored there, a lot of deep challenges too. And then it was, I believe, a year before we moved that I met Reverend HoniB, and honestly, experiencing her was the next level of an initiation for me in her activation. Yeah. That light body activation. She said, you might wake up in the morning speaking languages you don't recognize. My doubtful mind was like, I don't think I will. I was open and I believed her. I, for some reason, thought maybe and many other people in this event will, but I don't think I will. And then there I was in my garden the next morning speaking languages I didn't recognize: Arcturian, Andromedan, Palladian. And then I had the private sessions with Reverend HoniB, the training in light language, because sometimes when it first comes through, it's like, I don't have a clue what this is, what's happening. And that really initiated the next level of who I was meant to become, that was activated in Laguna. And then through a lot of powerful experiences in Laguna, including my dog full body ascending the week that Reverend HoniB came to town, the dog I had for 16 years. So from 19 years old to 35 years old. And this was now almost 2 years ago. So many layers of initiation. And that's what I feel like it is, like one activation after another. And a big part of it for me has been learning how many different aspects to my being I have. Like there are all these inner selves, these inner parts, and many of them are inner children who have been wounded in different ways by the childhood trauma. And my ascension journey has been a lot of walking those parts back into the love of my heart, of really reclaiming those parts. And I've created like a magic castle in my heart chakra, where every time I find a part, that like feels like it's not good enough, or a part that's stuck in trauma, or that can't handle the pressure of life, or all of these different things, I really go through this process of walking that part and giving them a beautiful room in this magic castle and letting them do what they want to do. Like you're no longer responsible for this role if that's not your best role. So, and now having so recently arrived to Florida and Sarasota, and I really feel that it was like, okay, there was a curriculum, a level of learning that had to be learned in Toronto, an intense one, but a miraculous one. Same in Laguna, like another set, but next level, like quantum level to that. And then now here comes the next one. And I'm kind of sitting in that preparation of what I'm meant to learn and grow, because the soul grows so much through the challenges that we experience in life. And I know that there are going to be many blessings for me here in Florida, but also opportunities to learn and grow too. And I'm ready for them.
Yeah. You shared, Hillary, so many golden nuggets in this, and I can tell, like, the audience is like, yep, 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 and they help, that help in, like, we're not alone, because this journey has been so much about, especially our star seeds, about cultivating back this true soul retrieval for many lifetimes, not just this incarnation, but it is multiple incarnations, multiple off planets. In this incarnation specifically here that we are together, to calling it all in. So the wisdom of the accumulation of, or the culmination of all of them is really the leader. And we're just the witness of the leader in ourselves, in that ascension awareness that has descended here now to lead. It is so enriching, I found, but gosh, it's also sucked along the miraculous walk. I mean, it's been rough. I feel like sometimes I get like glimpses of all of us, literally on battlefield, with crutches and like bandaged up and cuts and bruises and like limping, and there's no finish line. There's no, but you can see, it looks better as we're getting closer. It's starting to look better. There are more like trees and flowers coming out of, and that's how it seems like right now we're coming out of, I don't know what. Whew.
A massive clearing. And as we're anchoring our fifth dimensional light body, we're anchoring our fifth dimensional reality into the third dimensional reality. So then we're looking around and there is more beauty and there is more peace and there is more connection. But then still at the same time, the human self and the ego self is experiencing the third and fourth dimensional duality. Absolutely. And then I, even 2 days ago, this month, I have, so many things I had been wanting to happen for a long time are happening all at once. And other people would be like, congratulations, that's amazing. It's like, oh, but this triggers all of my like overwhelm, not good enough, victim. And I had to sit and I connected with my eternal light being. And it was like, I am so ready. It is happening all at once for a reason. And then as I sat and meditated, my human self was like, holy crap, what's oh my gosh, oh no. And then I had to sit in that. Yeah, that's okay that in this moment, like my eternal being has taken on a lot of divine missions and is so ready, and that my human self feels overwhelmed, and that the overwhelm triggers old wounds, and I can sit in both. And then I can allow that, like honoring that compassion, where your higher self has so much compassion for whatever you may be personally struggling with on the human journey right now. And then being able to be in both. And then again, when you're connected, as you know so well, to that eternal light body, then there's more presence. And then instead of the mind like thinking of like everything you have to do all at once, it's like, no, like things in each moment, you know what I mean?
The art, are you finding, Hillary, this for the audience to see, like this art of true alchemy, where you're simultaneously here, you're able to be in the different parts of you, experiencing what is taking place and recognizing, okay, so from the lens of my eternal self, I can definitely handle this better. But from the lens of my limited self, that feels more contracted, not quite. And this dissension, right, is about meeting all these areas with love. And would you say, how are you handling it? Because I know for myself, some days I'm really good, some days I'm not handling it well at all. Like some days it's like, okay, so good. And then some other days, nope, that was a terrible way of handling it. Let's see if there's another opportunity to handle it better.
Oh, yes. I'm still learning and growing so much, even this week. And this, we're just yesterday coming off the full moon energies, and everything was coming up to witness and hold a deeper space of love for, which I feel I was able to. But definitely there are days of overwhelm and feeling the density and not understanding. Sometimes after you make a big change in your life and a big move, and it's like, I want to know why, like, why am I here? And I did get a big column of light downloaded from Archangel Michael last week in my morning meditation. And he's like, me and Michael, my husband, he's like, you're here to bring the empowerment to this area, like to bring the light, you'll receive it. But this area needed you. And then I understood more. And back to your question, I'm very aware that my human self experiences having a limited amount of energy. People see me do a lot and they're like, how does she do so much? And please never compare yourself to me or the amount I do. Reverend HoniB does a lot too. But my human self, like I'll go into like adrenal fatigue. I won't be able to not stop yawning and I gotta lay down. The human self, like I experience my human self having a finite amount of energy, but that eternal light body has infinite energy. And the guides, connecting to the heart of Creator, connecting to the fifth dimensional crystalline grid of Mother Earth, connecting to the archangels, the fairies, the ascended masters, the goddesses, the star beings. Then when you keep that connection, that's when I experience it as being easier. So I'm consciously staying connected through my crown and through my heart, and consistently staying connected and consistently asking for help and support. And one shift that's made it easier for me, I was even writing something down and I'm like, this new offering I'm creating, I wanted to write, I hold it in light. And then I heard immediately, no, it's held in light by so many more light beings than just me, of being in the cooperation and the collaboration with the spirit guide team, where it's like, okay, we're creating this together. And because you want this created now and all of this created now all at once, I know that you are going to give me all of the energy that I need to do what I need to do. And for, those listening, however that is playing out in your life, to be a parent, to work your job, to run your own business, to be a teacher, healer, coach, whatever you may be doing. Sometimes I feel when we feel all alone in the pain, in the suffering, in the triggers, or when we feel all alone in the responsibilities of life, whether that be running your own business or working the job you're working or being a caretaker or whatever that may be, that's when it feels the hardest. So I've been consistently reminding myself, like, there is a whole team of light working on everything with me. There is a whole team of light supporting me. And that has helped me stay in a more balanced vibration than, even maybe a year ago. I was still forgetting that sometimes. And this monkey mind would be like, it's all on me.
I'm so glad, Hillary, you mentioned that, because that continuous connection, like very present, being so present and being connected to it, is so key. And for sure, majority of us lose connection to it on a daily basis. Like we might start off the morning, like let's say the strong morning meditation, beautiful, all is good. And then as you go through the day, it starts like subsiding because you're meeting more and more of energies that are just denser, just the vibration is just denser. So then to meet it, to lift it, it's like your whole entourage got to be with you. But it is a craft. It becomes an art. It contains like that molding of the clay. It becomes more crafty with this. And the human self, I mean, there's a lot of, I know you're feeling the same with the human self, having so much compassion. I feel like I've never had as much compassion and love for my human garment the way I have it now. It's like, wow, it really is attempting to keep up. And, but because of so much of program, conditioning, cultural, like experiences, traumas, it's gone through layer and layer. It's still unwinding, and it's going to continue to unwind through this whole life journey. Years ago, I was like, no, I really understood in understanding it is a journey. So that's not like, okay, I did this, it's finished. It's a continuum unveiling, like it's so deep within this fascia system, so that more of the light of what and who we are can be sustained in it, like really sustained in it. And that ties into ability to unconditionally love. Like I feel like if somebody asks me, do you unconditionally love, I can flat out tell you no. I'm honest upfront, say no. There are some areas, yes, I definitely think this area, my unconditional love is pretty good. Some areas, no. Like I'm gonna flat out say no. Unconditional love has not extended there, because it meets a complete limitation. And that limitation is stored in my body. It's stored in my thought. It's stored in like not even the possibility of it. You see what I mean? Yeah. So for it to be like, for example, like just flat out example, like can I unconditionally, like I'm talking about, like, let's say something that's so crazy. Can I unconditionally accept, for example, let's say one of my sons do something so horrific to another person? Can I really unconditionally love that? I can flat out say no. My mother would comment, like the mother, like, no, I can no, I cannot love that situation. Like it meets a limitation, because it hasn't yet been able to expand to that place, because it's going to hit certain things inside that are a total no, in this incarnation at least.
I completely understand that. And that is the human journey. And what you shared is so wise, that this is the journey. And then everything that we're not able to hold in that unconditional love, it is because we're making something wrong, or there is a judgment too. And the fifth dimension of consciousness is light, and it is the field of non-judgment. Like Rumi said, like, meet me in that field, like beyond all judgment. So then we know what frequency we're coming from, but also what program we're coming from. Like, as a mother, my son better do better than that. Or,
or like simple, like drinking, driving, hurting somebody. Like, I mean, it is just such a no, like, for me, it is not even like there isn't, do I love my son yet? But what I'm saying is that to love that behavior, knowing it's complete wrong. You see what I mean? So it is this dance of this fifth dimension that's non-judgmental, but you got to really raise yourself to it and be so authentic to say yes, because there's a lot of, with this ascension mark, there's a lot of, I love unconditional, I love unconditional. And I sat there and I was like, there's a lot of area I have massive love for. But I'll be very honest, nope, I have not yet developed unconditional love in this area, in this area, in this area, in this area. No, I'm very aware. of these.
But what consciousness was your son coming from, or what inner self that may be coming from wounding was he trying to escape
That's right.
by, say, consuming alcohol, then by, say, making a choice that could harm himself and others, which of course is the wrong choice. But it's almost like that part of him, that unconsciousness that wasn't holding himself in enough love to not want to consume alcohol, or to not want to consume alcohol and put himself and others in danger. Could that part be held in more unconditional love?
No, of course, like absolutely. But you know, the ascension, this is why I brought it up, because this walk, Hillary, like in the human experience, the compassion of the human experience, and the human journey, and its area of limitation it meets. Like, how do you, when you meet this limitation, how do you expand it further? How do you stretch that muscle further? How do you really, like, when I look at somebody, like, again, we're going to go back to this example. My sons have not done that, just FYI. So I'm just using an example for the sake of this purpose. For example, like there's a friend of my brother that their son was young child drowned in the pool, went to a birthday party, was drowned in the pool while all the other kids were there. It was really traumatic like that. And so, but it was so interesting when I was speaking with him. He's moved to this place of so much surrender place of acceptance. The acceptance is so much, and he really connected with that God self. And the person that was taking care of all the kids didn't the bunch of kids there that was supposed to pay attention to, you know, the children. So he was able to go through the forgiveness and that. But that didn't just come, Hillary. It took a long time after all of those stages. And then it sort of burst into this space that ignited in him, you know? And sometimes we're given those opportunities, but in the everyday experiences, we're giving this muscle and muscle and muscle, and some of it you hit, and it's very interesting when you're very honest, like, no, I can't love that situation yet. Like, either you're not ready, or the possibility isn't there because you have more things to work through. And, you know, it's a very interesting experience when you want to bring more of this eternal stuff in that accepts all of it. Like, there's nothing wrong with that as well.
But at the same time, when we can't, it's because we need to honor what the human is experiencing, that the trauma, that the wrongdoing of in whatever way is bringing up something that needs deeper healing for the soul to learn and grow. And we can't always bypass and go, because as humans, we have integrity, we have boundaries, we have things that we know are for the highest good or the highest light, and the things that we know go against that and are a spilling out of unconsciousness that causes such a behavior. So in certain instances, it is the time to sit with that human self and see if you can't love the situation, hold love for the situation to transmute it into its highest light. If you can hold love for that part of yourself that feels, you know, so upset by the wrongdoing.
That's that key. If you can hold, like, just love for that part of you that can't even consider, because when you look at it, what is it? It's that little part of you can't even, it's so thrown around by that, you know, it can't it can't receive it. It can't, the possibility of it is not there. Why I brought this up, because many of audience, these are the many stages, whether, for example, they were in an abusive relationship, and, they stayed in there. Or, for example, let's say their partner cheated, and then there's this idea in the spiritual ascension, well, you have to love unconditionally. And I feel that in itself is a program, when you're kind of like taught, oh, you have to, well, anybody can do this to you. You just have to love unconditionally.
I don't believe that at all.
I don't buy into that. That's why I'm having this conversation.
Love is taking care of yourself. And when you do what's right for yourself, you're doing what's right for all. And you should never be in a situation where you're being mistreated. And really, unconditional love starts with yourself. So if unconditional love is to set a boundary and to not speak to someone who is abusive or who just doesn't make you feel good, limit your time that you speak to someone, get yourself out of a situation where you are not being treated the way that you deserve to be treated. That is the true unconditional love. Because if you're not loving yourself unconditionally, which is ensuring that you're in a safe and love environment and not being mistreated, then how can the unconditional love you think you're spreading to another is a program of something that's missing within you. So you're trying to give it to someone else, but it has to start with you. Yeah. It really has to start with you.
I'm really glad we're bringing this up, because then is this also within you, Hillary, this idea of self-sacrificing, like compromising, because this journey of ascension, we're rising in awareness, rising in awareness, and then is the descension. And I know several years ago, I had to go in this place and I had to find, just like the iPhone setting, and I've done this with many, many clients before. We go to my setting, and I saw my setting, the default was already on literally self-sacrifice. And so much of my life has been in the name of love for others. And I do love to compromise more. And then underneath, knowing that doesn't quite feel good, yet I love, that area, that, oh my God, helping. And that is such an interesting program as a default setting in many of us light workers and healers. And to be able to then catch it and reshift it, because that is not unconditional love either. And that's where it gets a little bit foggy. We're like, wait a minute, but I'm here to serve my calling. I'm here to love. I'm here to, I'm really here to address this and help others. And when you yourself are not in the front of the line, helping yourself, you're really not helping anyone.
I 100% agree. And I used to say the mantra all the time, I am the first one in line to receive my love, or whatever trigger is coming up, like my inner child is the first one in line to receive my love, that it has to start with you. That yes, a big part of the ascension journey is being of service and helping other people remember who they are. Right. But that should feel good to you. And you should make it in a way that feels good to you. And
but often it does, but isn't it often it does?
I meant for everyone. I know for most of us it does all the time, but then there are those okay. And then it is an opportunity to sit with, okay, if what's for the highest for my heart is the highest for everybody's heart, when I'm coming for the highest love for myself.
Yeah. And I really appreciate, because actually this is out of all the speakers I've had every Wednesday, this is the first time we're really getting in this area, because I find it so important with some of the conversations that I'm having with others, like clients and on the ascension journey, sometimes Hillary, where it does feel good to assist others. It naturally does. At the core, it's our heart that feels so good. Yet there's something interesting when, for example, you putting yourself off, but you're helping other. So there's this kind of like energy that you're benefiting in helping others, but there's that lack of authenticity within oneself because you haven't been able to take care of us. And I catch myself when I find that, like, because it's all like refining, it's becoming right. It's like so many, like facets in here that it's like the lens of it has been clear. It's like, hey, are you seeing this? Are you seeing? And I keep catching myself, totally catch myself. Okay, here I did this. Like, okay, I wasn't feeling my greatest. And yes, helping others make me feel better. But this is the moment that I can shift it around, really take care of myself greater. And then I can really assist that other person even greater.
I 100% agree. And I think this is vital to the ascension journey, taking care of, as you call it, the human garment, taking care of your human self and not trying to give from an not full cup. It happens occasionally. It happens, something happens and you're like, oh, I wasn't expecting that. And then you've committed to be of service or something like that. But if that is happening really frequently, it is a time to deeply check in with yourself and deeply check in with what your heart needs and give yourself a sacred gift of something that brings you joy, of filling up your cup, because this, I can literally see the timeline, and it's like the slower timeline of the ascension journey is the self-sacrificing, because it is a program and something that needs to be healed on its own, but really prioritizing your self-care, then everybody gets the best.
Yeah.
And also recognizing we can't rescue and save everyone. I spent a lot of my early 20s, trying to rescue and save my mom, different people, and put so much energy into that. And then I was shown, it's like, okay, someone's here, let's say here, they're right here. And you're like, you shouldn't be right here. You should be right here. And then you're trying to bring them from here to there. If they're ready, if they're stepping into their own power, if that's their heart's desire. Otherwise, that judgment frequency of you're here, but you should be here. It's like, no, the person is exactly where they are meant to be for their healing journey. And we can't pick them up and put them in that other spot because we think here is better than here. They're exactly where they're meant to be. So that's a lot of lessons I've had to learn. Honestly, my husband, Michael, is really good at it. He's like the king of boundaries and of knowing what he wants and what feels good to him and what's in alignment. I had a program, I think from my dad, that like being easygoing that's the good, and being difficult is the bad. And then I used to kind of try to label my husband because he's so aware of what's in his highest good and what feels good to him, and he's so good at putting up healthy boundaries. Of like, it was hard for me to be in the middle of like these two men who see things in such a completely opposite way. But I have learned that taking a moment to sit with, like, okay, does that feel good? Does that feel right? Setting things up in a way where you're taking care of yourself. It's important.
It's so important. I have a funny story to tell you, Hillary. So a couple of years ago, before we moved to Florida, in the East Coast, especially Washington, D.C. area, was I think they're called cicadas. They came out again. Every 17 years or so, 20 years, they come out. So because the crystal lake behind our apartment, we be on the paddleboard. So they were out everywhere, and Michael and I are major animal lovers. So as we put our paddleboard in the lake, we went and we saw so many cicadas in the water. Now, meanwhile, we were exhausted, tired. We went for paddleboard just to relax, like we do. So Hillary, it was like crazy with both him and I. We couldn't even help ourselves. We saw one cicada, so we took the paddle. We went cicada rescue. Girlfriend, no kidding. So we took one, paddled it one by one, putting in the shore one by one, and spinning around. Oh my God, the other one, we would put him on the paddleboard, and then their wings would dry, and then they would take off, they'll fall in the water, and then go try to catch it again. Hillary, 2 hours and spinning. I started getting so nauseous. I got so nauseous and paddleboard middle of the day, Sunday. I was like, Michael, wait. He said, what? I was like, I can't rescue them anymore. He's like, but they're dying. I was like, I know. I feel so sick. And then right there in dawn, I literally heard it. In that moment. Wow. This is what we do to ourselves, because that compassionate, well, more is the empathy door. The empathy door is so much, especially us animal lovers. Oh my goodness. So compassionate, like, no, and earth. So meanwhile, we forget there is a divine order, right? So they want to do part, like exhaust ourselves. Hillary, we were wiped out after that the rest of the day. We were already exhausted, overexpended, like the amount, the clients, all of this. We went to relax. Sister, we couldn't even relax because we went 2 hours crazy trying to rescue the cicadas. And that was...
You and Michael have the purest, most loving hearts, and to really honor those pure, loving hearts. But yeah, what if the cicada's like,
no, but that was the
my spirit's on its way to its next lifetime, and I've chosen the exit button in this moment. And here you're trying to, and then it falls back in the water. No, I'm like, next life. I'm like trying to get to the next life over here. And you're like, no, let me save you in this life, which could be kind of funny, right?
But I'm telling you, that's exactly what happened. We just looked at each other like, this is wrong. No, like, but look at what we're doing to ourselves in the name of helping these other ones. It was such an awakening inside, like such an awakening. Like, we got to step back and like really reevaluate this whole thing. We're really coming from it. Of course, we're coming from the human lens that sees it like this. And this divine lens wants to show us other way. The divine lens wanted to show us, go rest, recalibrate, rejuvenate, recenter, because you have 4 more events in front of this so you can serve greater. But we completely didn't. We went even more exhausted. If anything, we even got into like a little bit of a thing with each other afterward because we weren't sustained and we'd given it all away. And yeah, this is those, and I feel there's something as we get older, we get wiser, right? A little bit more these lessons, but 100 times lessons. It's like, okay, like I'm learning this lesson, like really learning it.
Thank you so much for sharing that story, because as you did, I felt a weight drop off of everybody's shoulders, live or listening in another live moment, of feeling like you have to rescue everything and everyone. You don't, and you can't. And it's all collaboration where we're all lifting each other up, and there's this collective network, and that is the ascension, moving towards the unity consciousness instead of that individual consciousness. And yeah, that pressure where I just had to also with certain things like, okay, I can only do what I can do right now, and I can't put all of these things on my back, whether you're putting cicadas on your back or other people on your back, family members, friends, because also they're not in their highest empowerment. And what I shared earlier of like, oh, you're here, but I want to bring you here. The only way for them to really get there is through their own free will. And when you make the changes in your life yourself, that is the empowerment. But when someone's making them for you, then the one making the changes or initiating the change is the one in the position of the power. And then the other one is not in the position of the power. So it's not until they truly reclaim their power, connect with their eternal light being, that then they can make all of these changes, whatever changes are divinely aligned for them. Because thinking we like know better for someone else than they know for themselves, or that you knew better for the cicadas than what they, had in a way chosen themselves. That's that deep surrender too, in that field of non-judgment. Okay, even if it's not the choice I would have made, I wouldn't want to be drowning in the lake. So let me try to save these bugs from drowning in the lake. You know what I mean? It's a
catch yourself. You catch yourself. So let me ask you a question, Hillary, for the audience. What are just a few ways in which you truly practice more of this in your daily life to be more committed in that place and be humbled and being able to see it? So you're practicing more of that self-love, like truly that self-love where the eternal love wants to lead through you.
That's such a great question. And I don't start, number one, so I'll give three. We'll see if more than three comes. But number one, I don't start my day until I've meditated and done my energy rituals. And when I meditate, I set my energy field for the day and I call in all of that healing, that soft cosmic golden pink light, and really refill myself so that I start the day with myself. The energy has to be set before I do any work or any teachings, any healings. And I really let myself fill up my cup in that morning meditation. I connect to these pillars of light and bring them into my crown. And it is all about me receiving unconditional love in that meditation. And then the second tool is anytime throughout the day when densities are arising, triggers are coming up, I'll place my left hand on my heart and say, I send unconditional love to the part of me that is feeling this. I send unconditional love to the part of me that's feeling frustrated or overwhelmed or tired or whatever it might be. And that begins this circuit of that soft pink light, that healing energy, and I can feel it moving into that part of me that is feeling whatever frustration or trigger is coming up. And then lastly, before bed, pardon, I ground myself before bed. I cut all cords with everything before bed. A simple way, like I cut all cords, I cut all cords, I cut all cords. I ground myself. And again, I take a moment to connect with that frequency of love and recenter myself before I fall asleep. Sometimes I'll do the cord cutting and then consciously I return all energies that are not of my highest good to be returned to their source of their origin, fully transmuted back into the purity, wholeness, and of eternal light, which is a beautiful prayer that I learned from Matt Kahn. And really getting clear on what's my energy and what is others' energy. And, obviously I'll keep all the energy from my guides and all the beneficial healing energy, but I even cut cords with my partner before I go to sleep too. And sometimes I feel like if he's going through a lot, I'll put up a wall of light so that I don't take on his energy while I'm sleeping too. But I really feel how you start your day and how you end your day is very important. And people can find their own rituals. Like say if you shower in the morning or you shower at night, even when I'm showering, I'll be praying. Like I ask these healing waters to wash away, whatever is not of my highest service in this moment. And how you start the day, how you end the day, and then having a simple practice where you can connect back to sending yourself that unconditional love. Like the Matt Kahn, what really helped me learn how to love myself more unconditionally was Matt Kahn's teachings. And the core of his are, you always deserve more love, not less, no matter what. And everything that arises is only arising to receive love. So then that shift of perspective, then when you're feeling triggered, frustrated, whatever it may be, what we do is we compound it with judgment. And that's how we're bringing more of the third and fourth dimensional frequencies to what's going on. But really, whatever is arising, to bring it into the light of healing, if we call in the fifth dimensional frequencies, which is that field of pure love and non-judgment, and just hold it in love. And also sometimes hold it in love and let it be. It's not like I'm sending you love, so you're going to instantly transmute and not be frustrated anymore. It's like, now I'm aware, like, okay, like I'll feel frustrated for as long as I feel frustrated, but may I hold that frustration in pure love? May I know that I deserve more love? May I have more compassion for myself?
Yeah. Thank you so much. That really will benefit the audience so much. And those practical, really practical tools, I feel like so many of them have already, so many of us have come in with a couple toolbox of many different tools. So we got to bring them out and utilize them, and you'll know what's yours. And sometimes you listen to somebody and that sparks it. Remember, I could do that. And it's important to know you have various tools to navigate through. So as we come towards this sort of wrapping up, Hillary, tell us, are there any events coming up, any classes coming up, anything coming up that the audience can participate and learn about your wonderful shares and the healing energies you bring through?
Yes, I would absolutely love that. One free event that I have coming up is a 4-day experience called Connecting to the Fairy Kingdom, and that starts on March 27th. That's another kind of big thing that was downloaded, was I find, briefly, because I know we're wrapping up, that I was rejecting taking in who I truly am, my true divine nature, that true light essence that I am. And even though I'd gotten the messages throughout my whole life that I have a lot of fairy energy and fairy essence, I would always kind of brush it under the rug. You know what I mean? So I've really, in these past maybe 6 months, connected with my fairy essence and honoring that I am one of the many fairy queens on the Fairy Queen High Council, and connecting with and channeling the Fairy Queen High Council. It'll be such a fun and beautiful, absolutely free way to really connect with the magic and wisdom of the elemental kingdom. So that's March 27th to 30th, and I can post the link on the YouTube page, or
yes, send it to me. I put the link right on as soon as you finish. That's fantastic.
Perfect. And then the other thing is, often I'm not available for one-on-one sessions because I'm so busy running the trainings. I've trained thousands of energy healers, intuitive coaches, spiritual teachers, meditation teachers, yoga teachers, but I have been working very deeply with the Arcturians, which is the greatest gift that I received from Reverend HoniB when she taught me light language and literally activated light language for me and helped me connect to the star seed.
I just assisted a little bit. Around there.
It was incredible. And I've been channeling so much with the Arcturians and really connecting with their crystal healing chamber. And a big focus of theirs right now is helping the humans heal their nervous system, getting that gunk and fear and all these triggers. So I have the option where if you want to book one Arcturian nervous system crystal chamber reboot session over Zoom or over the phone, or there's a package of 3 sessions that come with 6 audios, and that's the comprehensive Arcturian Crystal Chamber nervous system regeneration program. That's 3 one-on-one sessions and 3 audios. So if you're, wanting to connect with the Arcturians and you've been feeling called to do some nervous system healing, that's a great option. And then if you
send me that link as well, so I can post it here. I know a lot of people would benefit from that directly. And the Arcturian chambers are phenomenal. Like when I'm not feeling good, I'm straight in the chamber. And when you come over, I actually purchased this advanced light technology here. So when I'm in it, I'm ready. I'm like on a physical plane, there's a part that's playing out. It's amazing. But
Oh,
when I go into the Arcturian for years, I go straight into the chamber with the lights, just assisting. It's so, so healing because our nervous system is really tacked as a psyop quite a bit, especially us light workers. And it really helps settling that nervous system.
oh, yes, it's absolutely life-changing. I feel like when the nervous system is unwound and we're in parasympathetic mode, that's when we are in the fifth dimension. And that when we're really feeling caught in that stress, pressure, overwhelm, that's when we're feeling more of that density of the third dimension. So thank you for asking me that. And I'm just so grateful for the opportunity to have this hour together and connect with all of you. And I have to say again, Reverend HoniB, and spending even more time with her in person now that we're here is honestly the most inspiring person I've ever met. Like her purity, her innocence, the way that she holds everything in so much love. I'm just so grateful for everyone who's a part of your community and as it continues to grow, because you are such an inspiration. You really inspire me. When I'm with her in person, I'm like, sweetness, softness, like all these light codes come through. It's like, oh, I should be nicer
Not
to
always,
my husband.
not always. We'll put that as certainly not always, especially the tough mother in me comes out, But thank you so much. I feel the same about you. Our love is just so, mutual. We just when we see each other, when we talk to each other, when we leave voice message with each other, it's just filled with so much love, and I appreciate that. And I really appreciate that you're both now here physically.
Yes.
It's a big blessing. And it's a big blessing for my audience to get to know you and your essence, your divine presence, and what you're bringing to the planet. And the fact that you said yes, really, because many may receive it, but not take that leap of faith of answering the call. And I'm so thankful truly that you answered the call, as well as your beloved Michael, and together you're serving humanity. Just mad respect.
It's the best way to live. And my dad used to always say, Hillary's a true spiritual person because she could have had like any life. Like I, dated all these multi-millionaires and like I could have had any life. And I'm so grateful this is the life that I've chosen, this life of healing, this path of ascension, being of service, but of course, like serving self first in that way of always holding yourself in unconditional love. And you too, Reverend HoniB, like you could have, you could do anything. And this is your soul fulfilling its mission on earth. And when you witness someone doing that, it just sparks so much.
Yeah, there's no other choice. There isn't even an option. So thank you so much. So thank you so much, our beautiful, beloved participants today that are watching this. Will get to watch your comments later. And most importantly, this whole walk of ascension, really, each of us are doing it individually, but it is a collective walk. Whenever we do anything ourselves, we free ourselves, we resurrect that light inside of ourselves. It's also available on this octave of light in others. And that's how we shift collectively. We do not go out there and change collectively like that. And we don't self-sacrifice ourselves collectively. We've learned that wisdom has come. It's a major internal work, and that collective is in here, and part of it is sharing. So if this video supported you, helped you, light up some things in you, please share it, because these vehicles, this technology, I'm so thankful technology, it's here so that we can bridge these light streams together and blast it out in this way, because another way is also being used. Here we are. That's our master whales here. So it's blasting in other ways through the airways. So we do our part with light, and please share it with your light and love. And Hillary June, thank you so much. I love you so much. Thank you for being here, and thank you for just being you. You're amazing.
You are too. And I want to share with everyone one last thing. You are ascending and you are on your ascension path. Sometimes we get this like, I have to ascend so I never have to come to the human experience again. That just completely slows you down. What if you already are an ascended being? Just remembering who you are and the fullness of who you are and allowing yourself to embody it in this physical form. That's kind of a shift in perspective that will help you further anchor these ascension frequencies, which is anchoring who you truly are. So thank you for this. And every week doing this, Reverend HoniB, and all of the amazing guests that you're going to have. This is such a beautiful service, Ascension Hours. So thank you again so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Have a beautiful, blessed day, and happy International Women's Day to all the delicious women on earth. Thank you for being you. Thank you. And to you. Much love, everyone.